Welcome back to Light Talk, where everyday people can share their spiritual journey stories with a safe and supportive community. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, email lighttalk423 at gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on your like, share, and subscribe buttons. Well, we are welcoming back Daniel Jackson. Welcome back.
Hello, I'm here again. Different
Woohoo!
shirt, different shirt, but same place.
Yay!
I think it's a different shirt. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not worried about it.
No. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Woo. So, do you want to give us a little quick introduction since.
Sure. Quick introduction. As I always tell people, hi, my name is Daniel Jackson. I see dead people, but yeah, that's pretty much what it is I see spirit. My professional name is Spirit Medium Daniel, but I see those who have passed on, but not just people, dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, other beings from other places. I see everything and anything that has passed away.
And that is exciting, at least for me, because I'm working on being a medium too. So.
It is for me, it's a very in that type of way, a very busy life. I don't ever not see spirit ever. So even like earlier, a little while ago, I was about to go out for a walk. I go to the mall and I walk because I'm old, and I walk with all the old people. But I decided to close my eyes for a few minutes, and even anytime I close my eyes, I see spirit. I have my eyes open, I see spirit. I don't. The only time I don't ever not see them, I mean, they do come into my dreams, some of them, but I have to be asleep, and I have to take some medicine in order to go to sleep because if I don't, I just even while trying to go to sleep, I see them all around me, and I see spirit, but I also see all kinds of movement and people walking past me and different things happening, but I don't ever not see it.
What's your most craziest things that you've seen?
Um, Probably about 8. I mean, I see some crazy things every day. I don't most of the stuff I see throughout my day, it just because it's happening in the moment. So it's hard to describe to people. The craziest thing I would have to say that I really saw, well, there's two things. So one of them is I saw some beings in front of me one time. If you've ever seen like a murder mystery where someone gets murdered and then they take the body away, but they do a like an outline of a picture of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I saw some beings and standing in front of me. They look like outline beings. That's what they were. It was just an outline. No facial features, nothing. But I saw these squiggly lines inside of their body. It would start out white and then glow to yellow and then red. Um, and and I saw them. Now I know there's no such place as what we would consider hell. There is a deep dark part to Earthbound, this lower energy realm. But it's not just really Earth because I saw lots of other beings there as well. Um, but so there's no one really, you don't go there because you're a bad person and then they torture you. It's just not that way. You go there because you choose to remain here as an earthbound spirit. You choose to remain into this lower energy place because you're still holding on to your low energy feelings, pain, anger, sorrow, give you language, all that stuff. And so I saw these beings there walking around and grabbing other people, souls, and I saw them punching and kicking them. I saw one of them grab a guy. Now, that's a huge misconception people don't understand. When you are in that low energy place, you still feel pain. So if another spirit were to walk up to you and smack you, you would still feel it. You're not going to feel it for a very long time, but they still do feel it. It's just a little. It's different than how we feel it, but still they experience it. So I saw them kicking and punching these other spirit. I saw the bigger guy grab a hold of somebody and started choking him. And when I saw him choking him, his eyes like a cartoon were popping out of his head. Um,
Oh
so
wow.
then I saw them dragging them somewhere, And then the biggest one, he came over to me and he just looked at me like he was about 8 feet tall. And I said to him, I said, "You're not going to get anything from me, buddy. You can't get anything from me because my light is so bright. They think they can just get all this energy from me, and it's not for that. It's to cross spirit over, so it gives them a guide to where to go, to where to come towards, and then I guide them through." But he was trying to see if he could get some energy off me, and I told him, I said, "You can't get anything from me." And I said, "If you don't go away, I'm going to tell my friends here to get rid of you." And he could see exactly who they were. Now, I don't know what language he was speaking, but whenever anyone speaks to me, I hear it as English. And he just said to me, "I knew who they are." I said, "Well, if you don't go away, they're going to make you go away." And then his two friends walked over, and then he looked at them and he said, "We can't get anything here." And they turned around and walked the other way and left. So they were scared of archangels because I have archangels with me all the time. And so that was one crazy thing. Another one was about it's been about maybe 4 years ago. I was, my guides, archangels wanted me to meditate and then go into this dark realm of what's there, and so I did, and when I got there, I saw beings. The only thing that I could equate them to is what we would consider monsters. Now, that doesn't mean they were monstrous, it just means what they look like,
Mm.
but what they look like is just what they look like, where they come from. We all look different. There are many beings out there that look different from us. So, but we would say, "Oh, that's a monster," because it looks, maybe it has fangs or something like that. But again, it doesn't mean anything really. But these ones that were there were very, very horrible. I would say. I won't say the word evil because that has to pertain to the devil and stuff like that. There's no such thing as the devil. But these things were very horrible. They were saying horrible things to me. They didn't want me to be there. They knew who I was. I mean, as soon as I walked in, they said, "What are you doing here, Daniel?" So, so they were speaking to me, and they didn't want me to be there. And I told them why I was there. And I was there to because they wanted me to go. I was told I was going there to cross over souls. And I looked around, and I couldn't find anybody who wanted to go, but I did see this one creature standing there and another one, smaller one behind it, like a child, and it was hiding behind one's leg and then peeking out and looking at me. So, yeah, and I mean, yeah, they told me to get out of it, and I said, I'm not here to do what you're going to tell me to do. I said, I work for God, and they said we don't want to talk about him, and so yeah, they don't like him very much over there, but, that's too bad. So, but the point of actually going there was that, they wanted me to go there to be able to see how I dealt with these other beings, and I was perfectly fine, and because they told me later, they said, "You were able to deal with them okay, so and since because you were able to deal with them, you should be able to deal with any person." And I was like, "Oh, you were testing me to see what I would do," and they said, "Yes." They don't
Wow.
test me anymore. No, I passed all the tests long ago, so, yeah. So, yeah, but
Yeah.
I see strange things like that all the time. So a lot of those things, I couldn't tell you really what they look like. I mean, I saw some beings about, 7 or 8 months ago standing in front of me, and the only thing I could equate it to is they look like, Chewbacca from Star Wars. I saw 7 of them standing in front of me, so and
Yeah.
I had asked them if they wanted to cross over. They said, "No, we're okay. We're just having a conversation." Again, I just hear it as English, but I know looking at them,
It sounds
it can't
different.
be. They're not speaking English, so but it's
Yeah.
just it's just for me, everything is interpreted comes right through. So when they're talking, I just hear it as English. But I see
So,
some strange things.
yeah, so when you were talking about other beings looking like horrible looking,
Yeah.
mean looking, and all, and you say that some of them are not really mean or anything. Have you come
Yeah.
across any like that? That
Yes,
look
there was
mean but
well,
aren't?
I wouldn't say this thing was mean looking, um, but it was very strange. Some beings that I see other things too as well, not just spiritual, but I see other into other realms, or sometimes the realm. I'm there. I close my eyes, or there was one time when I woke up out of sleeping because I woke up and my room was completely lit up. Now I keep my room completely black, so it's you can't even see in front of you. I can see me, even though it's completely black in there, but my body physically glows in the dark. Uh, so uh, so I could see me, but room was completely lit up, and when it's lit up like that, I know there's something else there. So I was looking around the room, and when I did, I just brought my head down. When I did, there was something that was sitting on my bed. It looked like a maybe the size of a basketball, but it had fur on it like a cat, but the fur was orange, but it didn't have a mouth and it didn't have a nose. It just had these 2 little blue eyes, and the blue eyes were kinda scanning around the room, looking around the room, and then all of a sudden it just locked eyes with me, and I just looked at it and said, "Hello," and it looked at me and blinked its eyes a couple times, and then it went back to scanning around the room, and then it just disappeared. Couldn't tell you what it was.
Well, that's one unique one that I haven't heard about.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm kind of thinking of one of those like craft little fuzz ball things that you
yeah,
use
like
as a
that, but
craft thing,
but this
but
thing was
with
this big
eyes.
around. Yeah, it was about that big around. It was sitting right there on my bed. I didn't wanna I didn't wanna touch it. Um, I don't I don't know what would happen if I did try to touch it. I would wherever I don't know if it was here or if in some way I was there but still here at the same time. So I didn't wanna become a part of where it was at that moment because I didn't know. But I've had other instances where I've seen, things that I didn't want again, I didn't want to try to become a part of it because didn't know if I would all of a sudden be there and then, my wife would be looking for me and I'm gone.
That's an
So
interesting thought because I've never thought of that. If you try to touch someone that you're seeing, if you
yeah,
would go into their realm, or
yeah, I don't
that's
yeah.
a that's a concept. So
Yeah, I
is
had
this?
one real big instance that happened like that.
Oh,
I was in my office. This was back in Delaware. I was sleeping in my office on the couch, and when I woke up, again, my room was completely lit up. But I was, even though I was on my couch, uh, what was completely surrounding me in front of me was I saw a background of a mountain there, and I saw green grass and a stream going past it. And then I saw a cabin and I saw these 2 women standing there talking. It looked like a mother and daughter. And the girl, I remember she had this red bag and it had a strap around it, so it was around her. And she was telling her mom, she said, "I gotta go, mom. It's time for me to go." And she said, "Okay, honey, I'll see you soon." She said, "Bye, bye, mom." And then she came running. I remember she had blonde hair and she was wearing shorts and she had like a yellow top on. And she came running, so I saw her running from in the distance. Now, it was strange that when I saw them talking to each other, it's as though I was maybe 5 feet from them. But then when she started running, it was like she was 100 feet or so away from me. So, and then she came running, and as she ran right up to me and ran right through my legs. And when she went through my legs, I literally went like this. Well, like, what the? And then I looked over and she was running the other way. And then as as she was getting further away, the whole picture just unpixelated. You just saw it falling apart and just falling apart. And it just and then gone. And then my whole room just went black again. And I was like, what was that? But,
wow.
again, I could have standing that close to them, I could have, like, reached right out, but I didn't know what would happen. So I don't take those kinds of chances, so I just don't. So, but,
And so, what do the guides say about something like that? Because that's a really
I
interesting
actually
thing
asked
for
another
people to know.
professional. My guide said I was there, but I asked another professional, he said the same thing. He said, "You were there." He said he said, "But don't interact." He said, because if you do interact, he said, you'll get stuck there.
Oh,
I said,
okay.
yeah. I mean, so that's why I tell, I talk when people say, oh, I want to go to the fourth, I want to go to fifth or sixth dimension. Well, like, no, you don't. You can't go. Your body wouldn't survive there. Your body would die, and then your soul would actually just disappear. It would, there would no longer, it would just, the soul would die. So your existence would completely disappear. And then what would happen is someone would be looking for you and you're missing. You're never coming back.
And do you think that's happened around to some of these like missing persons
Yeah,
situation?
absolutely. Yeah, they've gone other places and then they're not coming back. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Did
as well as some people who try to project, who try to do astral projection, and they try to project themselves into another dimension. And what happens there is they you find a dead body and their soul's gone. So
oh,
absolutely, that's why I just try to tell people don't do that. It's not. I mean, astral projection's okay. You're going to stay if you want to go visit another country or something like that, but for you to go, excuse me, for you to go somewhere else, I mean, I don't. That's not a good idea.
well, so do
You could get cut off from the source of your body and to some place that it's just not meant to be.
yeah, that's interesting. Do you happen to have like a percentage of people that would that has done this?
No,
Uh,
I don't. I to tell you the truth, I don't really pay attention to it. I try to warn people of it, but I don't really pay attention to it because people are going to do what they want to do, and
True.
I can't stop them from that. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I can't make them stop. So, but I can tell them, this is just not a good idea. The problem is there's a lot of spiritual guides or spiritual gurus and all that stuff telling you can do all these different things when they don't even know. And they don't know how much of a hindrance that is to people. But the only reason they say these things is because they want more people to listen to them and follow them and sell all the garbage they can to them. So
And so, what do
no,
you think about time travelers?
um, we're not meant to be there. You're meant to be here. You were born here to be here, to learn your lessons here, not to go other places. Because anytime you go someplace else, you're messing up that timeline. You might not think you are just because you're not interacting with anybody, but you are someone who is not meant to be there. You're meant to be where you were born. And need to leave it alone because it's going to mess something up eventually, something big.
Hmm. Interesting. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I just stay
so
away from
what is the most joyous thing that you've encountered?
it. Well, I mean, I see archangels every day. Um, one thing that I thought was interesting to see, I saw them in my bedroom it happened 3 nights in a row, where I saw them always saw them. I saw these bluish white lights coming out of the floor. But I saw these other beings that look like a half man, half bird thing. Not like angel like we think, but it was just I saw them flying around my room. They looked more like a bird with a man's head on it, not like a human with wings on it, more like a bird. But they were radiating different colors. The colors that were coming through were, as far as I can remember back, it was like a yellowish with blue and purple going through their bodies. So they were more iridescent looking, I'd say. I saw one time a lot of times at night I see red energies in front of me because there's negative energy everywhere because they come around my light and they want to see if they can get some of the energy as well as those other beings did. And so I said to the archangel, says, can you guys get rid of these things? This is really bothering me. And uh, I would see white light come out of nowhere and boom, just hit these things and they and get all attacked. But there was one particular night where I saw these other little beings with wings flying around my room, and I'd see them grab a hold of like one of these red globs of light, whatever it is, and take it off somewhere and fly off somewhere. And this went on for about 45 minutes. And I was like, and I was watching them, and I was like, "Wow, this is beautiful." And I said, "I wish I could see one of them up close." And then one of them flew up right up close in front of me, turned its head and looked at me and smiled at me, and then it went on its way. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, that was
Oh,
amazing." So I've only seen that a couple of times, um, but it's pretty amazing to see. But I know I'm always protected all the time. So but I think they just that was in the very beginning. I think they just wanted to show me how protected I was. So that so I don't ever bother or ever worry about going any place in my life with any like I know some people have to put uh, protection not spells but just a something around them
mhm,
a bubble or something like that
right.
and they have to do this daily and they have to go do grounding work and all. I don't have to do any of it. I'm always protected. I always have energy coming through me all the time. I'm always, even when I'm doing readings, I just bang it. Physically, it wears me out, but the energy is endless. Sometimes I do something for people, call a soul alignment, where I look inside of them, and I can see their soul inside of them, and sometimes it's crooked. So I'm able to put it back in place. I just turn them around, put my hands on their shoulders, and I transfer energy in. I see these balls of energy coming through my arms and go into the person, and I don't get drained from that. It's just like I did the last time I did a show, I did 18 readings that day. So,
Oh,
and I
wow.
did about 7 or 8 people that I had to do that too. So, no problem. Yeah.
Wow.
So I do see some very amazing stuff, not just that is around me, but what comes from within me. And it just happens. I'm not. I don't take it for granted. I am very aware of what's going on, but when it's your life every day, you get used to it.
Yeah, you just do what you gotta do.
Yeah, I just do what I'm meant to do here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't sit around ponder it every day, but I do at the end of my day. I don't. It's not. I wouldn't say I'm saying prayers, because prayer is not for asking for more than you're supposed to have. It's for giving thanks for what what you do have. So at the end of my night, every night, I do talk to them and give thanks to them and talk to them as a group or individuals and at that time when I'm doing that, they're touching my face and touching my head all over the place and telling me things and yeah, so
Yeah. So do you think that only certain people, for like in your instance, you are protected all the time? Do you think other people are protected all the time, or do they need that protection? Because
I mean,
isn't like
so
God with us
as
all
you
the
were
time?
asking me that, I just cocked my head back. So I was asking them. The answer is no.
Okay. So
The only
we
reason
do
is
have to.
because of what I have going on. Um, no one else does, so I have to be protected all the time.
Okay. Okay. So we are on that free will type ordeal,
Correct.
and we do need to put protection around us because we don't have that.
Yeah,
Then,
I mean,
okay.
uh I have free will, but I just they just but they said yeah because of my next answer for that. I don't use my free will that often because I ask them every every moment of the day. What am I going to do today? I'll have a thought come into my mind and say, "Is that what you want me to do?" And they touch my face and say, "Yes." So that's what I do. So that, in other words, I follow everything that they tell me to do. So I'm not going around going because so the use of free will does diminish at that point because whatever they tell me to do, I just do it. I don't tell them, I don't want to do that. I'm going to do something else. I don't ever do that ever. Everything they tell me to do or everything that I ask a question for, I just follow through with it. Even I could be walking in the store and maybe I saw a cool shirt that I really liked, and I was like, "Oh, man, I want that shirt." I would say to them, I said, "Should I buy that shirt?" No. Oh, okay. I turn around and walk the other way because it's just some things are just meant for me and other things are just not. So, but just because I like it, I have to be able to do what I do. I have to be able to be where I need to be, and in order to do that, in order to be there, I have to follow them so that I can be put there.
That's
So
interesting. Yeah,
I
that's really cool.
I in the very beginning when I had to say, if I was going to move forward with this, I had to have a talk with God, and at that moment when I did that talk with him, I was at rock bottom. So I told him, I'll go wherever you want me to be. I'll be wherever I'll do whatever you want me to do, just as long as you help me. But I need that help. But I'll do whatever you ask me to do. And he has put me to the test with that. But in the very beginning, but no, not anymore. They don't have to test me for anything. They know that if they want me to do it, I'll just do it. I surrendered myself.
That's awesome.
That's a
That's awesome.
it's a big commitment, though.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
that's very big.
I mean, like I said, I'm in Arizona because they told me to come here. So we moved,
Yeah.
traveled
That's
across the United States, came here.
yeah. That's a big, big move.
Yeah.
Big. I mean, like you're saying, it does. It takes a lot
They
of
told me to
what's
write a
meant for.
book.
Yeah.
I didn't have any inclination of writing a book.
Yeah. And that's like this. I have no idea about podcasting. And I
Me
heard
either, but I do one. So
it happens, doesn't
yeah, I mean,
it?
I've gotten pretty good at interviewing people, and I guess because of well, they're telling me yeah. Because I'm in this line of work in this field, whenever I do interviews for people, I look at their sheet. They send me an information sheet and stuff, and I just go, okay. And I just throw it to the side. And then I just let them introduce themselves and then we start talking about things and I just pick up on things and I'm able to ask questions. And I think maybe one or two interviews I've done. Um, no, they're telling me three. So three of them that I've done. um, uh, they specifically wanted these questions asked that were on their paper. I don't like doing interviews like that. I like it to be an open conversation where they're just going to tell me what they want to tell, and I'll pick up on something and ask them about it. But yeah, so a few cases they just wanted the specific things asked, and
Yeah.
there are some interviews I've had that lasted over 2 hours, and when I had those other 3 that I had to read from a script, it was done in a half an hour because I was bored,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I
Well,
just
that's
gave
how I
up.
run mine. As that's how I run mine. I don't like to script anything. I want this to be more
No,
very
no.
natural because that's how you're going to get the true story. It's
Yeah.
being more natural.
Yeah, like if I were
Yeah.
gonna do a show, some of the shows I do now are, on subjects that I wanna talk about specifically to let people know what is and what is not real in this, business. And
Mhm.
I might write some show notes off to the side so I can get through what I need to get through without missing something. But
Mhm.
other than that, I don't write it all out because it just.
It
And
takes the
then
authenticity for me
yeah,
away from it. So, yeah, that's why I like to do it this way is for the authenticity.
yeah, I did
Yeah,
a,
definitely.
I did like 2 shows the other day for someone, and then she wanted to come on my show, but we have so many shows. Um, we have like 42 or 40 something shows already recorded. So I don't have to do another recording until March of 2025. So, but a lot of those shows are not going to come out for a long time. So,
Hmm.
so she asked me, well, hey, how about you come? Yeah, I'll just send you a link and you just interview me for my own show. And I said, yeah, I can do that. So we're going to set up that and do that. So she sent me a bunch of stuff again, like her whole profile and stuff like that. And I will introduce her, but from that point on, I'm just going to ask questions, whatever I feel I want to ask.
Yeah,
Why
yeah,
wouldn't we?
yeah. That's how I am. I just grab their bio if they want a bio, and I just put it on the notes below, and then people can read about them.
Yeah,
And
makes it simpler, because then
yeah,
when you start talking about everything, I had a guy that come on my show, this guy named Preston Dennett, and I mean, my I let my wife do all the intros because this guy has written over like 20 books, and
wow,
I don't have time to that would have took half the show away,
right,
for me to ask him questions. So
right, right.
yeah,
Well, speaking of, our time is out.
that was
So
quick.
I know every day it's like when I do these Zooms, it's like, wow, crap, I could go another 4 hours. So maybe I might end up doing
I've been there.
longer Zooms or, longer videos. But,
I've been there.
anyways, I had a great pleasure having you on here for a
I
second time.
appreciate it. Me too.
And I surely appreciate all the guides and archangels and everybody that was here with us today. And
Well, if I'm here, they're always here.
right. And I thank them for being here again. And I really appreciate everybody having that time to be with me. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Well, thank you. And if anybody out there have any stories, again, just email lighttalk423@gmail.com. And while you're at it, click on that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And if you know anybody else that have stories, send them my way. I'd love to have them on the show.
Will
All
do.
right. Thank you, everyone, and thank you. And I hope everything goes well.
Me too. Be good and don't do any stupid stuff.
Oh, I try not to.
Well, if you do, just don't get caught.
Yeah. That's right. That's
So,
right. All right. Thank you very much.